the last one left. If you wanna live, I suggest not doing drugs and having sex. Run through the forest grasping for breath as you're chased by a maniac wearing a mask of flesh. Tripping over dead friends. This isn't over until you get revenge. Final girls try to survive in a violent world. It's eye for an eye. Hide behind doors, lying underneath beds, trying to bide your time and find your strength, and figure out how much time it takes to escape before it's too late, or come face to face with a grim fate. Welcome to ClassHorrorCast. Let's see how long you last as you torture to death. So come join your host Darren and Tomcat as we bring you a podcast that will leave you laughing in a body bag or a bloodbath. Welcome to ClassHorrorCast. Let's see how long you last.
Yes, welcome back to ClassHorrorCast. Welcome back to part 2 of our Halloween series deep dive, which will cover Halloween 4, Halloween 5, the Return of Michael Myers, Halloween 5, the Revenge of Michael Myers, and Halloween 6, the Curse of Michael Myers.
The Curse of Michael Myers.
I'm not sure why we started introducing all those subtitle lines, but we'll get into that in a moment. I'm joined as always by my co-host Tom. How are you doing on this almost Hallows Eve?
Yes, we are very close to the Halloween. It's already in the season, but Sam Hain. I'm excited. It's on a Friday. Our house is decked out, which I liked. This year we did the witches' hats where we like pin them all up where it looks like they're floating, and then we got this actually really cool light. Like wife's dad had it. It looks like a lantern flickering, but it looks like a real. It makes the house look. It looks creepy and cool. And now I'll throw music on. I have a pumpkin cool light. So we usually always try to deck the house out. We're on like a main street, and then I'll usually dress up. I actually don't know where my Michael Myers mask is. I was looking for it for the last episode. I had one, and it's old, and I knew it was like kind of like it was underneath a bed for a long time, so it kind of looked like the mask from part 2, like in a box. But I have no idea where I put it. Yeah, you have too many.
Maybe I have it here somewhere. That's actually so. Let me see.
Yeah,
this one here.
That's part 4.
Part 4.
Yeah.
I do not have part 5 because it looked so fucking goofy, but I did want it. That's the one with the big fucking weird long neck.
I don't know. I think part 4 is almost worse.
And then that's part 6, the Curse of Michael Myers. Which, if I look at it up close, I'll be honest, it doesn't look like the mask in some of the movie. When I watch some of the reshoots, I'm like,
oh yeah,
I feel like that's not the same mask. They must have used different masks.
Well, we'll get into different masks on this episode at some point, especially in this one. But we'll carry on to that. But I'm excited. It'll be fun. We usually and it'll be nice. I'll probably just drink a couple beers. After my birthday, I think I'm gonna try to go sober. Not sober. I'll be smoking weed, but I'm gonna try to not drink till Christmas.
Nice.
I'm gonna try to do it till I have to do it. I'm gonna try to do it. I think I'm trying to work out and do stuff. It's just empty. I enjoy doing it so much. It is like even though I'm doing it, 2 or 3 times a week, maybe it's usually maybe 1 or 2 times a week at least, and I'll have one on the show, or whatever. And it's just, I just feel like I have to try to step back a bit.
I got into a really bad habit of doing that a while back, where I was having like beers like every night, and I wasn't like, and when people probably go, oh my God, I can't believe that. It's like, no, I'm not talking about like falling around the house drunk. I'm talking about
having like 2 or 3.
Yeah. And
that's
like,
it.
Or like, I'd be like, I'll have like 2 beers, and then like I might have some dinner. I'm like, oh, let me have a glass of wine. And I was like doing it like fucking 5 nights a week. And I'm like, whew, this is an awful lot of garbage I probably don't need.
No. Yeah, I know. And then you're always like, I don't like I'll sometimes stay up too late, and it's just, I need to step back a little bit, It's time to grow up, Thomas.
It's hard, man. It's hard to grow up. I'm like fucking Peter Pan.
Yeah.
It's like
going to Neverland.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough. Like we were just talking about off air. It's like sometimes it's hard to get out of those old ways.
Yeah, and you are Robin Williams in Hook when he's eating the pretend food, and then he imagines it, and he's like, "Oh, I'm back to this time."
Yep. And at nearly 34 years of age, I'm still doing that dumb shit.
Can we, man, like, let's get into the episode, obviously, but we have so many shows that we want to do, but I'm like, man, if we could do Hook for an like the off-brand episodes, which we have to get back to at some point, but.
Do you want to hear something funny, actually? So for people who haven't checked out, for anyone who hasn't checked out Tom's Halloween special, Tom and Billy went as
Jay and Silent Bob.
I was going to say Bill and Ted again. Jay and Silent Bob, and then I showed up late, and like the guys didn't know what I was going to dress up as. I showed up as Dr. Evil in his prison outfit. And,
it was good. It was shocking. I was pissed at you because you're an hour and a half late. We ended up going 3 hours on Strange View podcast for like the Halloween special, but it was. And I was in time. Aaron showed up. I was like, I had 2 beers. One was 8%. One was 10%. 10% beers. When Aaron came on, I essentially opened it. I ate an edible, smoked a little bit of a joint, and then took shots of pumpkin spice liqueur, like 2 shots of. So I was like kind of in the bag, and I wanted to avoid that every time we do a live stream or something. Like, we're such this big fantastical thing, and Aaron is usually later, doesn't show up. So it was the first time he showed up, and I was like already kind of half in the bag, and I was like, this is what I was trying to avoid.
The time I did show up, I was dead, remember?
Yeah, you drank
so
a whole bottle of Jack Daniels, a bottle of wine.
Drinking like Heineken's and stuff. It's just like so dumb.
As long as you get in this groove where you're just in front of the screen, I have a big monitor, so it's just like, it's like I'm like, you're like this in front of me, so I'm just like.
And I forget that there may potentially be thousands of people watching.
Yeah,
so
I know.
Yeah, it's fine. No one's going to care about this. It's just us here.
I know. Don't make that joke, you know.
Yeah, I had to even while I was quite sober on the last episode. I did a few times have to reel myself in. But funny, actually, you mentioned Hook, because my other top choice, I forgot to mention on that show for a costume, was actually going to be Hook from that movie. It was going to cost me like over $100, so I was like, "Fuck that! I'm not buying that." But I really wanted to show up dressed as him.
I wanted to I might change my idea. I actually wanted for next year to go as Wayne and Garth with me and Billy, because now I have the wig and it came with a Wayne's World hat. So like Billy in the haircut in the hair and the glasses would be funny. But at some point we need to choreograph like 3 outfits somehow. I don't know, like you have to look up a trio, but
yeah. If anybody knows any good trios, give us.
I'm excited for Halloween. Are you excited? It's on a Friday, but you're working at the Haunt, are you?
Yes, and it's our final weekend, and
we can get back to recording every day. Just kidding.
To be honest, it takes the soul out of Halloween. I'm going to be totally honest. It's one of those things where I think the idea of doing something is great until you have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the busier it gets, the more like work it becomes and the less fun it becomes. And then all of a sudden people go, "Oh, this must be some fun for you. You love horror and all, and you get to work in a job like this." And I'm like, not really, because I'm doing 16-hour days with no fucking sleep and no food. And it's just like, it's not as fun as you would think.
Yeah, I know.
So while everyone else is coming in and having beers with like their
you get to watch everybody else. Yeah,
I get to stand there and go, "Oh, you're getting started at 7 p.m. I've been here since 7 a.m. already, and I still have another 5 hours ahead of me, and I'm stone cold sober and sore and cold and wet. This is terrible."
Just pop some like Percocets or some shit.
But it is what it is. You know what? If it had been the old me, I probably would have been like taking like
just like
Xanax.
You're having such a great time. You're like waving kids into like a haunted house, and it's supposed to be like a nice, fun corn maze. And it's like, "Come on, kids, this is gonna be really exciting." And then you think it's like the one
at
ride.
The edge of the fucking corn, like Pennywise, going after taking loads of Valium. Okay, so I suppose to get started on this episode, then we're gonna obviously start as a continuation from the previous one, which will start with a movie that came out in 1988 called Halloween 4: The Return of Michael Myers. This picks up 10 years after the original massacre. Michael Myers awakens on Halloween Eve and returns to Haddonfield to kill his 7-year-old niece. Can Dr. Loomis stop him?
Can he stop him? Not necessarily, you know.
This was one that always stuck out for me. I think when I showed it in the previous episode, those little movies you got free with paper.
The cover, yeah,
that thing. I'm pretty sure this was one that always, because I feel like they used to give that away with the paper literally like every Halloween for about 10 years. So like it's kind of ingrained in my mind. I don't necessarily remember the first time I saw it. It could be on one of those like free to air TV channels or whatever, or maybe one of those shitty DVDs
Yeah.
or something like that. What about you? Do you have like any
I saw it with
distinct
my friend
memory?
Austin. Just kidding.
Cool. In a tinfoil basement.
Yeah, just kidding. I saw. We'll talk about it. I saw like 6. I feel like I saw the first Halloween, definitely first, and I feel like I remember watching it, whatever, like in a basement or something like that. And then I had 6, like I had on VHS or someone gave it to me, something like that. But I remember seeing the cover of the 4th and 5th one, but especially like the 4th one. Some of these covers, these are the ones that I couldn't tell describe people the feeling that it gave me as a young boy. Like it was just like kind of like it was creepy and taboo, and
Is it in your loins?
Yeah, well, it's almost like people that are not horror fans or don't understand what it was like being a young horror fan were, especially in like the 90s, I'm sure in the 80s too, but like in the late 90s, like early 2000s, just that nostalgic feel. And then you were just kind of getting the internet and like websites and stuff like that, where like we've talked about, you can go on like the Jason versus Freddy versus Jason, like website or whatever. It's just that it was a different time, like kids, I don't think the generation today even kind of understands. They live to me, in the world that I exist in now was extremely different than what I existed in when I was a kid. So I couldn't imagine these younger kids are going up in this world that I don't even recognize. Right. So it's a very different feeling, but like seeing that there's a place called, I think it was at Flicks. There's another for one that was like a movie store. I liked the one, and I never went in there because it's on the other side of town. But they usually had like the old horror movies, like a lot of like the convenience stores that was close to my house or whatever. It was like a walk just down the street, a little drive, right, like 2 minutes or whatever. And I feel like the horror movies they had were either new stuff. They had a lot of the newer movies, or they would have like like Anaconda, or like one of those, like early 2000s, 90s kind of like Skull, that one about the Bohemian Grove, not Bohemian Grove, but like Skull and Bone Society. You know what I mean? So when I went to this place, they had the whole like horror shelf, where the convenience store didn't have that. They just mostly had a lot of the newer movies and some older stuff, like fun movies. But I did remember like going in and like being, I think at this time it was still VHS, and like seeing I remember it had like a black shelf. It was just like black because it was horror, right? Probably had horror above it. And to see some of these covers, that's the stuff where I was like, oh man. And that store closed down. And I can't remember if I bought any movies from there, but like you could buy them for like nothing. And I wish that I just stocked up, because I'd have all these like nostalgic. But then again, my mom stole my DVDs when I was a kid, and my VHSs, and I have no idea what she did with them. She said they were hurting my brain, and I beg to differ. I feel like she was hurting my brain.
Yeah, it sucks, man, when I look back at some of that stuff, because it was so...
Makes me sad, kind of.
Yeah, like I feel like that about a lot of that stuff. Look, I've tried to reclaim some of my collection now. I have like a bookcase, let's say, full of DVDs that I always try and buy from like, like Goodwill places and things like that. But like it'll never replace that. Like, I don't know, there's something quite innocent, I think, about the 90s and early 2000s about that time. It doesn't have like, because it was never sinister. I know you could say like, oh, a lot of those movies weren't for kids or they weren't for teenagers or whatever, but I never saw it that way, because we lived in such a different, like more innocent time where like like kids would be out on like the street playing till like 10 p.m. at night.
Yeah.
Nobody was really overly worried. I'm not saying the world was perfect or anything like that, but
there's obviously kids getting abducted, but not at the rate there.
Yeah, like stuff like that. And like, the fact that like, if you wanted to go play with your friend, you'd probably have to walk down the street and like knock on the front door and be like, hello,
way different, dude. That's my friends. It was it was definitely a different time. And to be honest, like in Canada, we used to leave our doors unlocked. Billy did for too long. I was just joke about him, like, you're fucking doing this in a city and stuff. He's retarded. But the thing is,
too into it though, right? Because we're not going to bring up like exactly where you live or anything like that. Obviously, you're in Canada, but like in the area you're in, it's not as built up, right? As like,
no. Luckily, I'm in a small town, and they can't really develop anymore. Thank God.
Is it? What am I trying to say? Is it?
I watched my hometown, which is not far from here, like the place mostly I grew up. I saw that change drastically. A very nice small town is now like it's there's housing complexes everywhere, right? And there's people that didn't grow up on that small town there now, and it kind of became it's changed so much. It's strange to, and like as much as I kind of hated it though, because I have a lot of bad memories of the way I grew up, or maybe some of the more traumatic shit that I went through when I was younger. But it's still a town I grew up in. I walked those streets every day with my friends and stuff like that. And it's sad to see it change. There's like one area which still kind of feels and looks the same, but everywhere else it's like something different because they need to like, industrialize it and put all these like, oh, there's restaurants everywhere. Like, especially at the one end, it's just like convenience store, Burger King, pet shop. Like, it's all these complexes of like dollar store, weed store, breakfast place, like all just in this one designated area. Like a whatever, not a what's that mall? Strip mall, like a strip mall. It's just changed. It's just different, and I don't recognize it, right? And it's a lot different when it used to be, but
yeah, it's
nor here nor there.
Yeah, it's a time kind of lost, I suppose. Now,
yeah, people will never understand. Yeah, what it was like back then. Especially it is that feeling of like, can Thomas come out and play? And or my friends would show up and there'd be like 6 of them. And I'm like, oh fuck, let's go. You know what I mean?
That shit's long gone,
dude. I'll tell you this story. This is a fun time, but one time, right? It was for my maybe my 13th birthday, because I had a girlfriend. I have pictures of me. We have to show on the show sometime. But I dressed up like a crow, and it was Halloween. But then, like a week after it's my birthday, my cousin came down from Toronto. It looks so stupid. I look ridiculous. It's I have to show you one day. It's bad. But we played Manhunt, and my cousin came down from Toronto with his buddy, and we weren't there when we got home. So how they got in the house was they crawled up the drain pipe and went through the top of the window that was open. Like, it's just different times for people that don't understand, this kind of. My cousin's like, I'm in, like, I get home and I'm like, how'd you get in the house? And he was like, oh, we just crawled up the drain pipe, and we played Manhunt, and it was like there was maybe like 12 people at my birthday or whatever, and we used the whole like block where essentially somebody's it, and then they have to get other people, and then the more people they get, then there's only so many people back. And we were running through backyards. My cousin and his buddy hit up in a tree. They were like, caw. They're smoking joints in the tree, like getting other people like come hide with us, and they like climbed up it, and we were hiding in backyards. I remember standing against this house and then like looking in, there's a family eating. And so it's like, it was such a fun, different time. But playing Manhunt on like a huge block with your friends it's just different, And it was around Halloween. Like, I was dressed up as a crow, embarrassingly, but
I remember all that stuff, dude. And I remember like you would be outside and it would be like 10, 11 p.m. and like I'd be told to come in and I'd be like so pissed off, like, man, I hate my life. I gotta go inside at 11 p.m. at night.
I can't smoke candy cigarettes with my friends anymore.
Do you know what I mean? That's like, that would never, like, the idea of letting my kid just disappear to wherever till 11 p.m. now is like, that's not happening. I know. No way.
Just call, or like, the street lights come on. It's a different time we're living in, everybody, but
I did want to bring this up really quick, actually. So upon, I suppose, doing the research for this and like rewatching all these movies and stuff, I have been referencing and I reread this book that I bought a few years back called Taking Shape, Developing Halloween from Script to Scream, written by Dustin McNeil and Travis Mullins. I think they actually done one about the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise as well, maybe.
Sometimes I'm like, maybe this is what I need to read instead of conspiracy books. My wife's like essentially telling me like, like, you're getting obsessed with the conspiracies and some of the stuff going on in the world. And she's like, why don't you read like a fun book? And I was like, yeah, but I have all these conspiracy books I got to get through. And it's like, maybe it's a good idea to like read something fun,
They're addictive. They're really addictive. But yeah, this was
because this looks like a good book.
It is. I haven't finished rereading it again now, but it is actually quite a good book. And I also actually wanted to give another little quick shout out. A book I got in the mail today for free from a friend of mine by the name of Wayne Byrne, who is a fellow Irishman. He has a new book out. This is it.
That's cool.
It is called You Can't Kill the Boogeyman, The Ongoing Halloween Saga, 13 Movies and Counting, written by Wayne Byrne. Published on 16th of October, arrives just in time for the spooky season of the year and is an examination of the legendary Halloween film franchise, exploring the evolution of Myers and his chilling legacy across decades of horror cinema. Delving into the style, themes, and behind the scenes development of all 13 movies, he speaks candidly with directors, writers, cinematographers, composers, and actors who helped shape the most iconic horror saga in American film history. And then just to give him, I suppose, him a little bit of a shout out, he's an Irish author and film historian. His books include Welcome to Elm Street, Inside the Film and Television Nightmares, Walter Hill, The Cinema of a Hollywood Maverick, Hired Guns, Portrait of Women in Alternative Music. Amongst others, he has written film music literature for a variety of publications such as Hot Press Magazine, Irish Times, Film Ireland, Books Ireland, and the Dark Side Magazine. So yeah, they sent me that out. I'll be honest, I haven't checked it out as of recording this. It literally just came today.
That's cool though.
Yeah, it looks quite cool. He wrote it all himself and somehow managed to get a publisher on board, and he's been getting his shit published, and it actually looks...
That's awesome. And it's awesome for people that can maybe get by doing that stuff when it seems to be getting harder. Not a lot of people read books anymore. Even like I have so many books I want to read and get to, and like a lot of people do. Like a lot of people are, getting their information from like a 30-second TikTok video. So it's like kind of sad. But if for people that can make it with like, like being able to publish a book and then maybe make some of your money back that you took your time out of to do it. But it's tough. It's a tough game out there now. You know what I mean?
I even see it with like the shows we record, dude. Sometimes like the extensive research, I'm like, whoa, this takes a fucking lot of time to like.
I know.
So I can only imagine to the extent of like, I've been trying to write a book for probably about 4 years now. I still haven't got anyone there.
I've always wanted to write a book. I don't know what I'd write it about. I could make a joke right now, but that would be for my show. Let's scare you.
I was going to say something. I'm like, no, that's not. Yeah. Do you know what, actually? So one of the first things I wrote down about Halloween 4 was, I noticed something that I see quite frequently with this franchise, and we'll see it obviously as we move forward in it, is each movie always seems to be like self-contained. They never really provide a way forward beyond whatever their installment's twist ending is. And obviously Halloween 5 would suffer from the kind of weird ending of this movie, and then Halloween 6 would suffer from the weird ending of Halloween 5.
All of their like, weird endings.
Yeah, and it's like, why do you keep... It's such a weird thing to like keep doing that though, where it's like, obviously, right, so I think is it Mustafa Akkad who was the one who like basically produced all the Halloween movies up until 6, I think it was at the time, or was it 6? Maybe a little bit after that.
His name is Mustafa?
Yeah.
Interesting name.
Yeah, I would have thought you would have known. I would have thought that would have been like one of the first things that you realized.
No, it sounds like Mustafa, from Michael Lion King.
Oh my!
It's the circle of life.
Oh yeah, from fucking Lion King.
We tried watching the one called Mustafa or Mufasa. And it was kind of bored me, man. Like I was like, oh, we're just like hanging out. I thought I'd be like, oh, like, it's a like animated, lion movie, sure, and I just didn't like it. I just thought it was the same. They're just always same story over and over. It's just so boring. Hollywood's boring. Oh, I watched Weapons, just so you know. I actually really like that too. So
that's another interesting episode to do.
Yeah, we'll have to cover that. I'm sure a lot of people like that movie right now.
To give people context about who he is really quick, he was a Syrian-American film producer and director, best known for producing the Halloween film series and directing historical epics such as The Message in 1976 and The Line of the Desert in 1981. He was born in Syria. He moved to the United States to study film at UCLA and later earned a master's degree from USC. His career balanced his love for Hollywood filmmaking with a passion for sharing Arab and Islamic history on screen. Let's skip that bit. In horror, Akkad became a key figure through his long-term involvement with John Carpenter's Halloween and its sequels, helping turn the franchise into one of the most successful in genre history. Here's the kind of mad part of his story.
Do you not have like... Did I have Michael Myers marrying an 8-year-old? Is that like part of the...
Well, actually, do you know what? When we get to Halloween 6, that may crop up.
Or is he
Um,
obsessed with Jamie for a weirder reason?
Supposedly he was a really, really passionate guy, like, and a really nice guy to like.
Yeah, I'm sure he was.
Any interviews I listened to, which I was kind of surprised because normally dudes at that level tend to be like, a lot of them tend to be dickheads.
Yeah.
But supposedly like he was a super nice guy. I can't remember if it was the cinematographer or something like that on one of the movies. I can't remember which one. And like he wanted the dude to make the sequel so bad because he loved the cinematography. And the guy was like, look, my wife is pregnant. Like we have like a 2 or 3-year-old as well. And like I'm in New York. You want me to go to Salt Lake City? I just can't. Like I'm going to lose my family if I have to move away again for like 3 months. So he was like, okay, I tell you what, why don't we move you and your wife and your kid to Salt Lake City for 4 months? I'll get you the best doctors we can get. We'll make sure she's taken care of. She'll be with you every day. You can take time off work when she's giving birth. You can be with the kids and blah, blah. And he was like, he didn't have to do any of that. I got all that and I got my fee. And he was like, they only had like a $4 million budget or something, which was like, he was that kind of guy. But yeah, really weird. He tragically, Akkad and his daughter Rima were killed in a terrorist bombing in Jordan in 2005.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, they were killed. They were in a hotel. They were back home or something for some sort of conference, like a film thing or something like that. And they were staying in a hotel, and the hotel got bombed, and they died.
The David Hotel,
which is like scary. Let me see. Tell me more.
And that would be. I don't actually think that was way early. I think that was in the 70s or 80s.
November 9th, 2005, him and his 34-year-old daughter were in Jordan attending, a wedding reception at the Grand Hyatt Hotel. That evening, a series of coordinated suicide bombings struck 3 hotels.
That's crazy, dude.
Attacks that were carried out by Al-Qaeda in Iraq. The group, led at the time by some lunatic. One of the bombers entered the ballroom where the wedding was taking place and detonated his explosive.
Wow, that's crazy.
She was killed instantly and he was critically injured. He was rushed to a nearby hospital but he died from his wounds the following day, age 75, and it claimed the lives of over 50 other people.
Yeah, I was joking. I think the King David Hotel was way, way before that. That's for Strange Brew Podcast. Let's carry on.
So yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so it's really weird that like he seemed to be super passionate, and like I said, he was involved with anything to do with Halloween up until 2005, and was supposedly like extremely protective over Michael Myers and like the franchise, like seriously protective.
Interesting.
But it's very weird that they would allow some of the script choices. Like I'm sure, right? If you're sitting on Halloween 4, and like we're chatting back and forth. Surely at some point though you go, okay, but hold on a second now. We need the ending to make sense for a sequel. We can't just make it like
just blow him up. Just blow him up. Just throw dynamite on him.
Yeah, and let's see his arms and legs and head fly off. And then, but it's fine because in a year's time when we do number 5, we'll just retcon all that and we'll be like, no, his head didn't.
Well, I know we need to get to that. When he's like, maybe we'll skip around a little bit, but when he's like floating down that fucking river in number 5, it's just so stupid.
I know for a fact as well, if I skip forward a few pages, that was something I wrote down in all capitals where I was like, what?
So fucking bad. Yeah.
But then at one stage he goes like face down in the water.
I know. It looks terrible, man. That we'll get to that. So this is the first film in the franchise where the score wasn't produced by John Carpenter, but Alan Horath, who was assisted Carpenter in earlier entries. He created the synthesizer twist on the original theme. Interesting. I wrote a lot of notes down on this. I said, when I first started watching it, I said, why does this guy look like Joe Pesci's cracked out brother, the cop at the beginning? I feel like we should bring that guy up. He looks fucked, but I also wrote down such a pasty white Mike. He is so white in this, like it's like his mask is so like it's not odd. It's like it's the white that they even chose was just I don't know. It's just so weird. I'm looking at an image of I think it's the guy who plays Michael Myers, one of his stunt doubles, and it's just like it just looks so bad, man. I also didn't like when the kids made fun of Amy or Jamie.
I just
You know,
don't understand some of the choices sometimes. Though
I
I'm
know.
like, what are we doing? Like,
It looks so bad, the mask. I wrote down too that I didn't like when they made fun of Jamie. When they're like, every day is Halloween at Jamie's house. It just made me feel sad for her.
it's a bit rude, isn't it?
See that mask looks dope. Like the cover of I remember seeing the cover of the movie, right? And then when I watched the movie, I'm like, that don't look like that. Like the mask doesn't look the same at all.
No, not even close. Like, what? There was something else I wanted to bring up, and I definitely wrote this down somewhere, and I probably
The
won't be able to
blonde
find it
Michael
now
Myers?
because I wrote down so much stuff. No, not just that. In this movie, for some reason, I hold on. Let me just bring us back up for a second. In this movie, I don't know what's going on with the actor or the whatever. I don't know if he was told to do this or he just has an issue. He spends the entire movie like this.
I know. I noticed that too. I might
No,
have
but
that
it's
down.
but it's like it's not like he's a huge guy with big crazy
I
shoulders.
wrote down,
It's like he
yo,
has no neck. He just has
I
like
wrote down, I was like, Michael just looks terrible in this with these women's shoulder pads. Look,
oh, dude, it's so weird looking.
the
Like,
mask is so
there's a
white, it
couple of
looks
times where
goofy.
he's moving around, and like he goes to grab somebody, and he's like this.
I know. It's like,
I'm like,
what's with
what
the,
the
especially
fuck
there's
is
a
that?
scene where they're gonna hit him with the car at the end, and that's what I wrote it down because at the end of the movie, and I was like, he's just standing there. It looks like he's wearing like when women want like got started working in the workforce and want to look at the office for some reason in the 70s and 80s they needed shoulder pads for some god awful reason. I don't even understand what the point of them was. Can you ask Chat? What is the point of women's shoulder pads? I'm just kidding. But like I don't even understand the point of shoulder pads to begin with. But it looks like he's wearing them because it makes his body kind of look like a triangle, where his like upper half is just like slumped up. Like it's so weird, dude.
Um, here was actually something interesting I had seen. So John Carpenter, who's notoriously fucking quite contrary a lot of the times and can be a bit
Mhm.
of an asshole. He told Fangoria before that this is an exact quote. The partners threatened me by saying, if you don't do something with your property, we're going to sue you for preventing us from using it as an asset. Um, he said that he would always be suckered in last minute. They would say, well, look, your name will be on it. Everybody will associate it with you. Don't you want it to be good? To me, it just felt like a curse after the first movie. So, like,
Wow,
I
because
think
they're
what
like
he was saying was
forcing
like,
him.
yeah, well, like he was like tied to it, and he was like, look, I don't want to do all these unoriginal garbage ideas. Like,
Mhm.
and they were like, well, technically, you're legally bound. So, even if we go ahead and make some garbage movie, the thing that's going to come up on it first, and they were legally right, they could do is John Carpenter presents. And then they're like, so
It's
don't you want it
crazy.
to be good, John? So don't you want to
Scheming
make a movie?
Hollywood.
And it's like,
Javi
and
needs to make a movie, you know?
it's like, yeah. And like, you'd see a lot of stuff like that, man, where,
Not saying the
like,
producer was Harvey Weinstein. I was just referencing that some of the
oh, well, we'll
producers
get
are
there because he
monsters.
does eventually become producer, of course.
Well, I didn't know that
Um,
actually.
yep. But then, yeah, so Akkad then he actually bought out Carpenter, Deborah Hill, the other producers, and had total creative control. His company, so this is again like it's so messy all the time.
Mhm.
So he had that company, Trancas International. They put out an open call for pitches in 1987. They found a script that they enjoyed and announced it at the end of 1987 with a full page trade ad. Now, this is hilarious, right? This will just tell you like the difference in times. They've put out a full, so like back then you would have like the trades where they would say like all the different things that had been announced for like movies and TV shows and stuff that was bought. And they put an ad in like the trade ads. It was a handwritten note from Michael Myers himself. So that's what it looked like on the advertisement. It looked like a
Mhm.
piece of paper that Michael Myers had written on. And it said, I'm sorry I can't come to your Halloween party. I'm still being kept in the hospital. I'll be sure to see you next year. Michael Myers. And it's misspelled Meyers. And that's something actually that comes up more than once in Halloween 4's marketing where they spell his surname wrong. and somehow that got through. I don't know how.
Just like the blonde hair. Can we just talk about that now because it bugs me so much? During the production, filmmakers discovered that they were using Michael Myers' mask with visible blonde hair in one shot because a tired crew member grabbed the wrong mask from the prop area. Why would they even have a blonde wig? Confirmed that mistake was left in the final film. Of course it was. And I even wrote down, I was like, that is so bad, the blonde Michael Myers, and how did they choose not to do anything with it or fix it? When he throws Loomis out the window, I watched it back 3 times. I was like, Jesus Christ. Can we, you know what I called him? Chad Michael Myers. You know, like Chad Michael Murray. Wow, there's another shot of it where it's like lighter. It's so bad. The mask is terrible.
But none of them look like the one I have back here.
No. Well, I feel like one does. But look at the eye holes.
A totally different one. Yeah. I don't know.
Asian Michael Myers.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Yeah, well, wait! I wrote a thing down about this guy. I said I love the Reverend Jackson character, the I love Jesus guy with all the ornaments in his car and the stickers. He's like, you're my boy, Blue. You know, he's from old school. You're my boy, Blue. You remember that?
I think as well, actually, seeing as you like this character so much, that he was supposed to have a way bigger part, or there was like conversations.
Really? You know what he's from, right? Old school, right?
Yeah.
You're my boy, Blue, and he's also in Bubble Boy.
There was I definitely read something somewhere.
He's a funny actor. He said he was hunting for the apocalypse in Armageddon. Too damn close. And how they're just drinking and driving. It's just funny.
Oh, yeah. So that's it, right? So in 1988, writer Nicholas Grabowski penned a novelization for the movie. In 2003, he re-released an expanded version. Some differences between the novelization and the movie include there is a gas station scene, obviously. Myers is actually shot 3 times by Loomis instead of Loomis missing him.
Mm-hmm.
Laurie Strode had a bigger presence in the novel than she does in the movie.
Is she even in the movie? Not really.
No, not really. And then Reverend Jack Sayer expanded role with interactions with Loomis. Sayer tries to lie his way into the police station to find out more about what's going on. Comes across Michael Myers, who gouges his eyes out before killing the town's entire police force.
Nice.
He's later found and mutters a warning similar to Crazy Ralph from Friday the 13th, saying, "You're all doomed to death. There's no stopping it. You're all dead. You and whoever else stands in its way.
They're all doomed." Yeah.
Also funny that I was looking up an interview with that author, and he said that he actually never got a contract for the book and never got paid for writing the novelization.
Mm-hmm.
He worked at a place called Video Giant back at around this time in 1988, and people would go to the bookstore like Barnes and Nobles, whatever, which was across the street. They would buy the novelization, and then they would come over to Video Giant and ask him to sign it. And he never got paid.
Yeah.
He never had a contract. So he wrote an entire book that was like world famous at the time, and people would come and ask for his autograph on the book, and he was still working in a video store with no money. And he said eventually when the publisher went bankrupt, he reached out to them and they told him, word for word, "We put your name on the copyright page if you want to check that out. The book is yours. Do whatever you like with it." Which is why he was able to make an expanded version in 2003. And then he re-released it, and I think he was able to make some money from doing that, which is something, I guess.
Yeah, something, you know. It is interesting because obviously the original Captain Kirk William Shatner mask from the first film wasn't used. They acquired a local costume shop mask and found they didn't like it, how it turned out. Some of the scenes were reshot when they swapped masks. It's terrible. Can you try to like Google or find the image of him with the blonde hair? It is so bad, dude. See if you can bring it up. Also, this idea, right? They introduced Jamie Lloyd's character, played by young Danielle Harris, as Laurie Strode's daughter, and then obviously the niece of Michael Myers. They're trying to set up like a new final girl, right? But it's like they didn't explain a lot of it. Oh, it's so bad. That's not even it. It's when he throws. There it is. Right down there. See it where he's about to throw Loomis. Look at that shit. Go
I'm just
down.
gonna move through. So there's, wait, there's the one I have. So that's
Yeah,
the
it's
one
kind of
behind me there.
close. It still
It's just
looks better than that.
and it's weird, right? Because the one I have,
Yeah.
obviously I don't think in that, right? It's supposed to be a copy of that one, I imagine, but
Yeah.
uh,
Look at
there's
the
nothing,
lips and stuff. It's like,
but there's nothing in his over his eyes, right? Am I right in saying
No.
that? I don't think there's
Yeah.
anything over his eyes, is there?
I don't think so, but it may
So
look
let me
like there
just check
is.
something really quick there.
Yeah. So I'm gonna put it on.
So yeah, I knew that. So this one is really weird, dude, in the sense that it has let me bring us closer for a moment so people can actually see what I'm talking about.
When I get to set up my mask at some point when I get my studio back.
I don't know
Oh,
if you can
weird.
see that. It has
Yeah.
like a mesh
Weird. I don't know if I like
Over-
that.
over the eyes, which is really bizarre.
But maybe because you don't really see his eyes throughout the movie, really. It's supposed to be like
But
black.
I'm assuming
Size of
that's-
black.
I'm assuming that's what it's supposed to be. And
It
you know
looks
what?
weird.
It does look weird, but I kind of like it at the same time, even though it looks goofy as fuck.
I kind of like it too, but I also don't like it. I think it
I
looks
don't
like
know.
if the dollar store produced his mask.
It is a weird mask.
Yeah.
I don't
It
know
is
who
weird.
actually made that copy of the mask, to be honest with you. I got that like secondhand from somewhere.
Really? But it was made. Is it made by NECA or some of those?
Yeah, it's one of those companies. I'm just not sure. The tag, I think, or the stamp is on the inside somewhere.
Yeah.
Um,
Strange.
but yeah, it's
Bring
so
up the.
weird.
Okay,
Yeah,
now go
so-
back. Now click the one down with Loomis. Look at that shit. How do you not notice that, man? Look at it's not even painted either. That's so crazy. Wow, that's nuts. That's so funny. That's Chad Michael Myers. Yo, like they didn't even paint it. Look. It's like it looks like it's barely painted. Why would they have a blonde mask to begin with? Oh, is that all the different masks? It looks so shit,
from
bro.
number 4. It's like,
Oh my god.
What are some of those?
I can't believe, like, look at the mullet blonde wig, though, is the funniest thing in the world, though. They're not even including that in that image with all the different masks. That's so funny. It's just terrible.
Actually, that was kind of freaky to me when he had the
Yeah,
little
yeah.
bandage face. I was like, ooh, that's kind of fucking.
I didn't mind that. I thought that was interesting, different choice, kind of creepy
I don't
element
know
to
if you
it.
can see what it says on the bottom there, but that seems to be a common thing on the internet where people are like, oh, they should have kept him in the bandage mask for the entire movie.
That would have been interesting, another take, and then maybe in the 5th one he gets his mask back. Because realistically, between
That was
the two,
scary looking.
oh
Where
yeah,
remember when he goes to the gas station, he's standing in the coveralls, but he has
Yeah.
the bandage face still, and he's just like,
yeah, it's kind of creepy. Maybe they should have kept it.
it would have been freaky. Like, and like you said, then maybe that would have been like a bit of a hook as well to be like, oh, he doesn't get his mask back till number 5.
Yeah, I know, but
But
they didn't
also,
like.
why does
I
his
feel
mask
like
change so
so
much.
much.
Was it that hard? Right? Would it be that hard to just have the mask looking somewhat similar? Like, right? So people
I
are
don't
gonna
know.
give me shit for this, right? I like Rob Zombie's Halloween, especially the first one. I love it, and I love certain scenes from Rob Zombie's Halloween too. The one thing I did like though was the idea of like if you have a mask and that's the concept, like that shit's gonna have to rot and like look like shit after a while.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Yo, go
this
down. Look at the
just
shoulder
seems to,
pads,
like,
Mike.
Fucking yeah, there you go. Is that when he gets shot? Yeah, he gets shot, right? And he goes like,
That's when he's at the side of the road. Also, and this is the scene I think where, and that's why I'm like, what's with the shoulder
yeah,
pads?
but don't they shoot him at that point?
Yeah, something like
Yeah,
that.
and
Well, he
and
gets hit
every
by the
time-
car, and then
Every time he gets shot, he goes like,
it's so bad. I wrote that
It's
down too, just how terrible the ending is. I was like, Jesus, they couldn't fix this. It looks so bad, and he gets like shot a bunch of times, and it's just like it looks dumb. Looks very dumb. I was gonna say it is interesting because like, and I guess they're slightly different, but it is interesting in the Friday the 13th franchise how like like 3 and 4, especially at the beginning movies, they kind of blended. I feel like 2, 3, and 4 blended together well enough where it kind of told semi the same story To some extent, people might argue with that, but I feel like especially the first 6 movies of Halloween, they're so very different. Obviously, there's different Friday 13th films, and like the 5th one got a little weird and they got weirder. But I was saying with the Michael Myers, it is so like there's not one that's really seems cohesive other than 1 and 2, and you could even argue that that's kind of not as cohesive.
Do you know what I did like about this movie? Actually, the opening
With the Joe Pesci crackhead guy.
with the thing like where they have him in the doctor comes to like take him
Yeah.
from the hospital or whatever, and he's
Yeah.
like, I did kind of like that. I'm not gonna lie, it has this like weird nostalgic kind of feel for me.
Oh,
for some
go through
reason.
that again. I feel like it showed the image of the guy I kept talking about. I think it was back though, but whatever. Not that guy.
It'll probably show up again somewhere.
No, that's not him. There's something like it was
I
at.
know,
I
it's
saw
like Joe Pesci.
that guy also does. It's so funny.
It's like, how many
Is
times has
that
Joe
Christopher
Pesci in
Lloyd?
this
Just
movie?
kidding. That also looks like. Oh, I was gonna mention this actually. I did write this down in my notes. Is that one of the kids has like those nostalgic '80s like probably like they're just like a cheap costume, right? The mass produced like Walmart style costumes where it's just like a plastic Frankenstein mask and an outfit to go with it.
I remember having shit like that though, dude, and it was just like,
I know if you were there during the beginning of the Halloween special, we showed a lot of these images.
it's like such a, I don't know. That's
I know, nostalgic.
again, people look at that now and they're like garbage, like, but it's such
I
a
know.
nostalgic thing.
Yeah.
Like, but a lot of even like the style of the people and like the clothes and just like
Different
I don't know, everything, like,
times.
this, yeah. And look, it probably sounds like we're absolutely ragging on this movie, and I'm not. It's just funny sometimes to point out like some of the weird.
Yeah, no, and I still enjoy these films. I've always said that we get what we got. These are ones that kind of came later on to. I still enjoy this one. Like, I still enjoy 4 and 5 because they're the ones that you could argue is like maybe kind of like our Friday 13th 3 and 4, where it's a continuation, other than the big shootout at the end that doesn't really make as much sense. But it is funny how like if you're wanting to come at it as like a fun hanging out with beer, like have a couple beers with your bros or like a girl or something like that, fun Halloween kind of movie. It is fun for that aspect. Like I do watch these like every year. But like as we were talking about just quickly about Rob Zombie's one, it's just the same thing as like I remember liking Halloween 2, Rob Zombie's one, more when I first watched it, and then when we did a commentary on it, I was like, it is so bad. There's so many bad. There's good things I did like about it, but there's things that are like, what the fuck am I watching? Like when you see Michael Myers, yeah. Oh yeah. Honestly, this mask would scare me less than Bandage Face. I'd be like, who the fuck is this
Who
guy?
is this on top of my car? Why is he there?
He's so pasty white in this one.
Here's a controversial take. I'm not a huge fan of Daniel Harris or the Jamie Lloyd character.
I want to like it, but yeah, there's like it's not the greatest idea.
And I'm also not.
Oh, there
we'll
we
get
go.
into it now very, very shortly, but I'm also really not a fan of how she's portrayed in part 5.
Yeah, well, we'll get to it. Wow, showing some saucy
I know,
photos.
I know, right?
Oh, like go back. These like the guys are like, which they redid in the new Halloween. Look at his. That's a wig. Clearly, it looks like one, and his hat. And it's like we're gonna go get Michael Myers. We're gonna get him.
Oh, yeah,
We're gonna go out there. If you don't deal with it,
evil dies tonight.
yeah, evil dies tonight. I wrote down something about the electrical. The guy, it's just so funny how he just like some of the kills are so dumb too. And it's still enjoyable, but when I analyze things, I'm gonna give my honest opinion when he like just takes that like electrical guy and he just tosses him in to like the electrical like transformers. I'm like,
It was actually quite freaky when Loomis goes to the gas station and the guy falls down on the chains. Remember that?
yeah,
The mechanic dude that he took the coveralls off of.
yeah.
The way he falls down, it's kind of freaky looking.
There's obviously like this movie is still enjoyable. It's still part of the franchise. There he is. Does he look like cracked out Joey Pesci?
What
Joe
does
Pesci.
what does he say to him again? Remember, he's bringing him through.
God, that guy's freaky looking.
He's bringing him through like the war. There's another thing, right, that I'm a sucker for in horror movies, and like I love it in like Halloween Resurrection and stuff. Is Halloween Resurrection at the start? Yeah, where she's in the hospital.
Yeah.
I do love that. I love
Me too.
and You
where she's
remember
on the roof and she's like, Michael,
yeah,
come kiss me.
and
You
isn't
know?
there the
Just kidding.
crazy dude who's obsessed with serial killers?
Yeah. And
Yeah,
he's
yeah, and
he's got like
I
Gacy's all stuff
yeah,
on the wall
and
and
like
shit. Yeah.
I love that whole like thing,
Yeah, me
and
too.
this is kind of I suppose like a soft version of something like
Yeah.
that where. Remember, this dude is walking them through the basement or whatever. And he's like, "This is where they keep the worst of the worst." And like they're all
Yes.
like, "Oh my god!" And you can hear like screaming in the background and all
Yeah.
stuff like that. And they're walking past all these doorways, and then like one of them's like, "Oh my god, did you hear that or something?" And then he turns around, he's like, "Lady, God ain't got nothing to do with this place." I'm like, it's such a like cringe like late
Yeah, I know.
80s dialogue.
He's been on other one or two other things that I've seen too, but it's just kind of funny. He's just like one of those, but he looks like Joe Pesci on crack. Look at him. Look at how happy Loomis is to be with the Jesus guy. Now imagine if he just went, on with his life. He just carried on with the guy, the Jesus man, and then yeah, some of the mask is just the thing that like it's not
Mouth on that
creepy.
one there.
I know it's not
The
creepy.
lips.
It's very weird. It's too white.
Oh yeah, this was another weird choice actually. That the Myers house is now some sort of mansion.
Yeah, I know. Weird.
So when I listened to the director's commentary, supposedly that decision was solely based on the fact that obviously there's a big portion of the movie that is contained inside the house.
Yeah.
So because they needed a lot of scenes in a lot of different locations, you couldn't use your standard like 2 or 3 bedroom house because it would be over within 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So then they were like, okay, let's just have the Myers house be a mansion.
That's so dumb. Oh yeah, weird. I didn't even notice that, but I remember like I think I just didn't know where they were at when they were having this battle or whatever. I was
And
like,
there's a lot of
whoever's
that
house
in these
is.
movies is kind of just like, I don't know where I am, but Michael Myers is here, so it's okay. And I think they got away with it, to be honest, for the most part. They kind
Yeah,
of got away with that a lot, where it's like,
it's true.
don't ask too many questions about the decisions we're making.
Well, this did make some decent money. It did. The film opened at well, it didn't make decent money, but the film opened at the number one spot at the U.S. box office in the first weekend and held the top spot for its second weekend. Though, if you look at its success domestically, it was actually grossed less than its predecessors, and it cost about 50% more to make it. If you look at through all the expectations and stuff like that, how many Chad Michael Myers are you giving it?
I do enjoy it in a lot of ways. I'll be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Even for like the goofy things, like when you see, Loomis has that weird little Rice Krispie burn on his face, and then if you notice after that scene, that never shows up again. It looks
So
completely
weird.
different. This circular
Wow.
part here is completely missing.
Wow, they did a lot of this stuff, eh?
There's the most iconic one where he sits up like a fucking with them shoulders.
Yeah, I wrote it like because he's in the dark, or he's in a lot of scenes in the sunlight. It just makes the mask look even worse, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Like that looks like if I was gonna like honestly, this looks like if the Japanese wanted to redo Michael Myers' mask. Doesn't he? He gives a little Japanese vibe off. If you give him like a samurai sword.
Yeah, I could see that. Actually, before we give our quick rating and move swiftly on to the next one, I did want to say, oh, Jesus Christ, that looks awful. Whatever the fuck that haircut is.
Yeah,
that's a different mask again.
Roseanne Barr haircut.
Yeah, regarding the ending, the director went on record to say he felt that Myers was truly dead at the end. He also felt that Jamie wasn't truly evil due to her bloodline and her behavior at the end.
Oh yeah, because I remember I watched the end. I almost forget about this scene.
I know. Yeah.
Every time I watch this movie, and then I'm like, oh yeah, because I thought they wanted her to carry it on, and maybe now she's the killer or some shit.
What did he say? He was like, he felt like Myers was truly dead. He also felt that Jamie wasn't truly evil due to her bloodline, and her behavior at the end came from a sort of electric transfer of energy. This began the franchise's subtle connections with the supernatural, which would continue to evolve.
Yes, we are aware. We know. It is weird. It was a wrong choice. I will be fair. Out of all the Halloween movies, this is by far the worst ending, probably. And then the worst beginning to the next one. I did write when we get into part 5. I did write they did need to recap part 4 though. Like that's just such a weird way to. Whatever.
You know what I think they do stuff like that though because they fucking destroy every kind of ending with all this like pointless stuff that they're just going to retcon. I think that was why they always feel the need to go, oh, remember what happened in the last movie? Let me show you that. And then let me just tell you none of that really existed or happened and we're going to
Yeah.
change it all.
So how
I
many
would-
Chad Michael Myers is mask you gonna
I'll
give it?
probably give this a 7.
Wow, that's pretty high.
Yeah. Just because like the nostalgia. and there's,
Nostalgic.
like,
I know.
yeah, there's a lot of little things I like about it. Like I love the opening scene.
Yeah.
I do like some of the kills and some of like the things. I kind of warm to like the whole like
Shoulder pads, Mike.
yeah.
And honestly, like I will say I'll give it like a 6 or something like that. And just being honest, but realistically, it is so funny because like out of we always say like whatever this idea of like movies that you really enjoy based on like our own preference. I try to be more rated based on the actual film itself. But like if you watch something a lot, you obviously like it, right? So I would watch this way over some other stuff. Like I watch it like every year or whatever and stuff, and so
Okay, so we've gone for what, a 7 and a 6, which is it's pretty
Yeah.
standard, I guess. So moving swiftly on then to 1 year later, barely a year later, to
1 year
1989.
later.
We have Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. 1 year after the events of Halloween 4, the Shape returns to Haddonfield once again in an attempt to kill his now mute niece.
Yeah, I didn't like the
This one-
beginning, and I didn't like they didn't need to recap part 4. I didn't like it's so funny, just like so dumb. Bye, Michael floating down the river.
Literally the first thing I wrote on the page was Myers falling down a mine shaft, crawls into a nearby river. He looks so fucking ridiculous with the clear life vest under the overalls. Floats to a hermit's shack who nurses him back to health.
Yeah, which is like the
Wow, this is
stupidest. Like that's so dumb. He's about to kill him when he opens the door, and then this weird homeless guy is like, you know what? I'll fix him. Maybe he can be my new wife.
I have that right. I'm like, floats to a hermit's shack who nurses him back to health. And then I put an arrow down further because I wrote some other stuff. And I was like, also, I'm just thinking back here to the start of the movie. It moves forward 1 year after that scene. So Myers has just been in a coma since, or is he just chilling
I
in the
noticed
shack
that
with
too.
this dude for 12 months?
Just chill. And it would be funny if he woke up and he's got like the blonde wig on from the last one, and there's like a whole cut where like in his uniform where his butt is. The homeless guy is fucking him while he's unconscious. So I've been so lonely around here, man, and that's why Michael kills him. Not because like the guy nursed him back to health, but because he was fucking
Jamie is in the Haddonfield Children's Clinic and is now mute. And I wrote down, I'm not sure how I feel about this choice. Every time I rewatch, I just cringe at the fact that she's mute. And the way she goes, like, she's having those like visions now. She's like she's like deaf. And I'm like, ugh, it's just, I don't know, it's hard for me to look at. I'm like, this is fucking dreadful. We also, at this point, are treated to the emergence of the man in black.
Yeah, it's very dumb. I also want to say that I did imagine Michael Myers in a little like outfit, like he's like bringing the homeless guy like dinner and stuff, and then the guy's like complains it's burnt, and then he kills him.
Yeah,
it is weird. It is weird, that whole thing of him like nursing him back to health.
Yeah. And then I mentioned, I don't know how much of it you heard before you got cut off, but I mentioned about the fact that she's mute. I just don't like that at all. I just think it's awful, and the way she like, and I guess look, she's
like,
a kid and stuff. Yeah, and I don't know whether like
she's doing this weird like fake scream thing. She's not like she's like and like not actually screaming. It's really weird.
Cringy, and like, and there's parts where like she's kind of being a bit like as if she's deaf, where she's like, I'm like,
yeah, I didn't like any of that.
It's like we probably have to drop all that, I'll be honest, because I think that's fucking garbage. And also, this is the first appearance of the mysterious man in black with the cowboy boots and the long trench coat.
Yeah, The Man in Black, the subplot in Thorn cult. The film originally had a strong supernatural and occult elements of the Thorn cult influencing Michael, which were largely minimalized in the final cut, leaving a mysterious cloaked wearing man in black figure whose identity is never properly explained. And this is the problem with these films. And then they lean into it more in the sixth one, but it's kind of dumb.
Yeah, there's like so much stuff about this movie, man, that like is all over the place. Obviously, after the success of number 4, which I think it made like 17.7 million at the box office, previous writer and director didn't want to be involved due to their ending feeling perfect to them. Akkad went back and looked at some of the people who previously submitted drafts for Halloween 4. This led to a screenwriter by the name of Shem Bitterman, who had a script titled Halloween 5, The Killer Inside Me, which focused on Jamie Lloyd continuing in her uncle's footsteps.
I made a porn about that in the 70s.
Which he said he wrote the movie in 3 days. Akkad then met Dominique Gerard, who trashed Bitterman's script and pitched his own take, which borrowed heavily from the Frankenstein storyline. Although it ended up being titled Halloween 5, The Return of Michael Myers, the original working title was Halloween 5 what?
Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. Isn't that what it's called?
No, it's The Revenge of Michael Myers. Yeah,
right?
So that was the I said The Return.
Oh, so I'm okay. It was.
But what was the original working title that they were working under until it was changed to that? Would you think?
Michael is back in black. I don't know.
Halloween 5, ... and the things that go bump in the night.
That is fucking terrible.
That is probably the worst title I have ever heard.
Yeah, that's actually terrible.
That actually ends up being a line in the movie somewhere, I think, where someone's like, hey, watch out for the things that go bump in the night.
So like, bad.
Cringe, like, why the fuck?
There's a lot of Michael Myers in, I wrote down, this one's just kind of weird. It's a lot of Michael Myers in the daylight. Michael Myers' hand is permanently stuck with the knife up and ready to stab for some reason. He's just always like this. Even when he's just walking around, he's like, just like, there's so many scenes where he's just like, there's not even a reason why you have your hand up like that, but he's just like in this permanent, I'm going to stab you mode.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. There's a lot of weird choices with this one.
Yeah, it's a lot.
While Rachel dies in the movie pretty early on, previous drafts had her alive for most of the movie, and her character was extremely rebellious, similar to how Laurie Strode ended up in Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. I wrote this down again. Very strange they continue to greenlight scripts when they plan to retcon previous movies every single fucking time. I know, it's terrible. Like, this one is by far one of the weirdest ones. I still enjoy it, but like, it's completely different, and they basically went, oh, remember Halloween 4 that you may or may not have enjoyed? We'll forget everything that happened in that because it's all different now. So she's not actually evil. Like, I did have that down somewhere in my notes here, where I was like, I was like, not only is Jamie not evil, which the previous movie's ending allowed us to think, it is also revealed that her foster mother has now survived the attack. Strange fucking decision. Why? It's so funny because they're always like, oh, we need to keep the story going. Let's just make up an excuse for all these other things that we did in the last one to make you think that it was over or whatever. It's just such a bad choices. Like, you might get away with that once, but when you do it like 3 or 4 times, it's like, wow, please stop. I feel like that became a bit of a thing though for the franchise, right? Where it was like, I do kind of feel like I remember that like years ago, like talk. I also wrote down, people don't like this word, but I did say this mask kind of looks retarded also. I think I was referencing back to like how bad the other mask was. It's not great. I'm not going to lie. Hopefully we're on local recording and everything will be fine. Anyways, carry on. I'm not gonna lie, it ain't great.
Bring up. I want to see the mask. Bring it up. See the cover looks so gnarly. I actually like the cover. It looks
They were always
cool.
really good at doing that though.
I know.
Where it's like,
This
check
is the
out
one that I
this
remember
really
being on
cool
the movie
cover.
shelf, and I was like, "This looks awesome."
Whoa!
And then it's
And then
that.
you get that goofy ass looking young with the
I
big
know.
long neck and the goofy
It is
ears
weird,
and
and the slick back hair.
like that is literally a completely different mask, like a completely different face, everything.
I know, because they sculpted off of somebody else's face. I heard. It is
And
weird because like
the
with
thing with the
Jason, it's
neck
like,
coming out like that is like,
yeah. But it's so funny they all did this, right? Like, and it was like almost like the only one that didn't. Well, actually, no, that's not correct. Actually, all of them did it, except for like Chucky was one thing, because they had to keep it close. But that looks kind of cool. Kind of him with the scythe. I kind of
it's
dig
just
that.
the neck part. I don't understand the
I
big
know.
wide neck. Why is that happening? I don't
Yeah, it's
get it.
very weird. But like realistically, like all the Friday the 13th movies, Jason's mask looks different. He looks so dumb there. All the Freddy, even all the Freddy Krueger movies, his mask does change, and his facial, at least it still looks like Robert Englund, but it does change quite a bit. And it's like, can they not just stick to one thing, or at least try to replicate it as best they could? And I feel like every time they tried, but they're like, we're gonna mold it after this guy's face. Like, just pay some money to William Shatner, be like, we just need a mold of your face, man.
Do you want to hear what Donald Pleasance had to say about this movie?
What?
He told Fangoria magazine, I
I
think they
fucking
should have.
hate this.
Well, not too far off, I suppose, in a way. I think they should have. It's weird, actually, that back then they would have been doing interviews with like Fangoria magazine, and they would have been talking shit about the movie that
Yeah.
they're filming, because the interviews would have been done on set. So they would have been
Yeah.
sitting with them being interviewed on the set of the movie they're making, being like, "This is a pile of shit. This is awful."
I never had Fangoria, but I remember seeing it and really wanted those magazines.
I know. I wish I
Nostalgia.
had them, like, the old school, yeah, the old
Yeah.
school ones. I wish like they go for like serious money now.
Mhm.
Yeah, he told Fangoria, I think they should have gone with the fact that the girl is now totally evil. I was disappointed that we now discover she did not kill her mother. I think the story is a bit stupid. I am not thrilled with the direction, but it doesn't matter since I won't be around.
Yeah. Well, say that again. Say that
Yeah.
again.
Oh no. Oh no.
What?
Sorry, nothing. I thought we were going lagging out again.
No, I was saying that
This
like
is not good.
I can hear you. I can
No, we're
see
back.
you.
We're back.
So weird. It's on my end. It's saying I have no lack of internet bar. Nothing. It says nothing about like usually it'll be like you're losing connection, and then when that happened, you were fine. So I don't know what the hell's going on with this.
Here's a big gripe I have with this movie. And I wanna
Dr.
know your
Loomis does
take on
come
this.
back though. So
I know, yeah. He felt actually way more unhinged in this one. Like he was really spiraling, and he was kind of more aggressive than I think we've seen him in previous movies. Like even with Jamie, when he's like fucking grabbing her, he's like, "Bitch, you better fucking help me and tell me what's going on."
yeah, so weird.
Now this part I didn't like, these two goofy ass cops.
Mm-hmm.
How did you feel about that? Isn't there a part where they show up near the start, and when they show up, it has this weird like when they're walking around, it has this like weird fucking music and all. There's all these like and all this stuff in the background as well.
Yeah, it's really weird. I don't know. Some of the choices that they made throughout this film are just strange, right? Like I read even like Michael Myers taking off his mask is really weird at the end where he has like the single tear. It's fucking so dumb, man. There's a lot of
Also,
bad choices in
Yeah.
this movie.
Speaking of that, right? I just read something.
Look how cool
out.
that guy is. That guy's super cool.
It's like, oh, he has a cigarette now. Myers caught in a giant metal net. Loomis tranquilizes him before beating him unconscious with a wooden plank.
Yeah, I read that done too.
He then collapses as if he had a heart attack. Myers is arrested and jailed. Later, a mystery man in black returns carrying a machine gun, shooting all the cops, and escapes with Michael Myers. Like, that feels like something.
Did that
that's in some,
happen?
like alternate universe where it's like Are they about to get onto a rocket ship like and go to space after that?
Did that actually happen? Did I miss that ending?
That's
Wow. I think that this was the one that I was least paying attention to.
dude.
And then I think I was like talking to the wife or something like that, and it was like the credits rolled. That actually happened? Wow, that's crazy.
Like,
I'm surprised I didn't notice that or remember that.
it's just come on, like
That's crazy. I actually didn't know that. That's wish I could see a scene of that because I feel like I would have went back, but there was also masking drive. Oh, the Ronald Reagan in the scene. Michael Myers drives a car. Originally, he was going to wear a Ronald Reagan mask. I actually thought the old man mask was creepy. I did write that down, but the idea was rejected because the filmmakers wanted to avoid political subtext. So imagine like Michael Myers driving around as Ronald Reagan, I guess. But there was also. Yeah, there was also Don Shanks. Michael Myers narrowly escaped the stunt guy, a car fire after crashing into a tree at 30 miles an hour. Also, he had to swim in water that was 30 degrees Fahrenheit, that's like freezing. Yeah, about -1 for a scene. So that's fun.
Do you know what's weird for me? Because like, say, the scenes where they're at like that party or whatever, they're supposed to be in like the barn or like the farm or whatever it is.
Mm.
And like scenes like that are cool. And like when he kills them with the like, what is it, like a rake or like a pitchforky thing?
Yeah, I
And
actually
he
thought that was
sticks it
okay,
in the
but
guy's head
that
and
chick
stuff.
screams in it. Yeah.
And like those scenes are cool. Doesn't this have the scene where he's chasing Jamie and she goes down the laundry chute? I really like that.
Yeah.
And then he goes down to the bottom and she tried to climb back up and he's like trying to grab at her and he's like stabbing through the laundry chute. That's a really good scene, I think. But then it goes from that to like, weird like comedic scenes with the cops and all. I'm like, what the fuck?
I know. And then like the telepathic thing with like Jamie is really weird.
I didn't
I didn't like any of that stuff. Yeah.
That was kind of weird.
And
when he was in the car like that with the fucking thing on.
yeah, there was supposed to be a Ronald Reagan's mask. I actually thought that mask was creepy. Like I would buy that mask if I saw it. It almost looks like the mask from like a Land of Confusion. This is the world we live in. So the film grossed 11.6 million in the U.S. on a 5.5 million budget, making it the lowest grossing entry in the franchise at that point. I wonder why. So how many are you gonna give it? I will be honest. I will say out of 10 traumatically mentally psychic little girls, I don't know. I'll give it. I have to be honest. I'll give it like a 4. I will watch it again, but I've seen it. I've already seen it a bunch of times, but it's just because Michael Myers is in it. If Michael Myers wasn't in it, this movie would be fucking terrible, probably.
Yeah, like as a Halloween movie, it's a very weird watch.
Yeah, it's weird.
Like, and like you can see it like the more you go back and like try to listen to it or like look at it in a different mind. There was
It's a weird
changes like all the way through the filming. They were changing the scripts like
That's what they did. They
constantly.
did that to my boy Freddy. They did it to Jason. It's like every movie like this, they're like,
Yeah.
we just need to pump them out so we can make money off of this because this is what people will go see right now.
Like I wrote down, a movie has a weird mix from being serious and deep to scary and tense. Although there's comedy in there as well with the dumb cop characters. It's just way too much for me with the sound effects, etc. It's just garbage. Script issues. Myers doesn't appear to be burned at any point somehow. I found an interview with Greg Nicotero who said during the filming, "We haven't been told whether Michael's face will be hideous or not. We're ready to rush some kind of appliance together when they finally make their mind up." Like that's not a good sign if you're on set shooting and like you don't know what makeups and stuff to do. It's like,
yeah,
kind of a yikes. Like it's like doesn't really sound like you have it figured out.
That's
guys.
crazy.
Some of the kills though, like I said, were good. The barn,
Yeah, this is one of my least favorite.
Yeah, same. I think actually. Again, don't know. Like you just mentioned about the that whole like telepathic thing. I don't know how I feel about that, and the fact that like she kind of orders him to take his mask off and stuff. I'm like, I don't know where I sit with that. And then the actually to kind of finish this up, the man in black
Yes.
character. So how that came about was Akkad said that he wanted a cliffhanger for a Halloween 6 movie that was yet to be decided. So they came up with this idea. Nobody had any idea who the character of the man in black was supposed to be. There was talks of having matching tattoos or making the man in black Michael Myers' soul brother, which is just actually, here's something funny that you might not even funny, but something cool maybe that you might have like dug or preferred than what we actually got. Um, you know the opening scene
Mm-hmm.
with the hermit dude or whatever. So originally, right, that was going to be a voodoo shack of a character called Doctor Death. It was going to be all like it was like a voodoo shack with all candles and like this giant cross with some sort of a skeleton on it. And when
Yeah.
Myers broke in the front door, this guy was going to be praying over a skeleton in some ancient language. 1 year later, we fast forward to see this character, only known as Doctor Death, doing a ritual to bring Myers back to life. So he's died in this time period, and
Yeah.
he's trying to resurrect his body with some weird ritual. And you can see that the guy is putting the tattoo onto Michael, and he also has the tattoo on himself.
Oh
And
yeah, the death root thing.
yeah, he cuts a pig's throat, pours the blood into a chalice, does some fucking thing. Michael wakes up and grabs him by the neck, throws him onto the altar, picks up a rock, and smashes his chest open with it. That was supposed
That
to
was
be
an alternate.
that was
There's
supposed to be the
also one
original
about a
idea.
massacre at the hospital too. There where Michael was massacring a SWAT team at Haddonfield Hospital, was shot but removed in post-production. The film originally received an X rating due to the graphic violence, and they needed to give it a cut.
Yeah, he was um in that actually he was going to kill the entire SWAT team, twist off an officer's head, stamp on their skull. The SWAT team respond to the call, and he kills them all one by one, even shoving an M16 through somebody's head.
Wow, that's
There was also a cool and unique ending that I found out that wasn't shot, which would have snipers watching the house, and they would have made some sort of booby trap thing with a giant bed full of spikes that when he opened the front door, it would impale him. And the scene plays out that he manages to sneak up and kill one of the snipers that are watching the house, and then the other one shoots him several times. He falls on the ground. The sniper gets down from his post up on the tree. He gets down. He comes up to Michael. Obviously, Michael's playing possum. He's not actually dead. He kills that sniper, and then he uses his body to set off the booby trap. So the sniper, gets impaled on a bed of spikes. And then they get into the house, and it continues as it did in the actual movie. Yeah, this one, dude.
wow.
I don't know where I sit with this one. This is
I don't know. I
much
think
like
it's
you.
it's part of the franchise, but whatever. But it's tough.
I'm probably gonna go for like a 5. on
Don't
this
really
one.
like it.
I'll be honest. I'm probably gonna go for
Yeah.
a 5. It has some redeeming qualities, I think, some kills and some different things, but I think I'll go for a 5. It's not that great. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm going for a 4 because realistically, these ones I will throw on some Halloweens, but mostly every time I do, I'm like, man, cringe. That's cool, cringe. You know what I mean? Like I'm honest. Like but it is like if we were chilling and just like smoking up fucking, bringing out the big bongs and just like hauling on some fucking tokes or something, my bruv or whatever. But I would like it would be fun doing that and then making fun of it. It's like it's one of those like some of these slasher films. I know there's a lot of love for them, but some of them are goofy, and that's part of the reason why we love them is because they're kind of goofy.
Yeah, this is probably my least favorite out of them all, but moving swiftly on to 1995, we get Halloween
My
6,
favorite.
The Curse of Michael Myers. 6 years after Michael Myers last terrorized Haddonfield, he returns there in pursuit of his niece, Jamie Lloyd, who has escaped with her newborn child, for which Michael and a mysterious cult have sinister plans.
Yes, they
Halloween
do.
5 was poorly received across the board. It has the lowest gross in the franchise to date, which led to pumping the brakes on Halloween 6 for a while. So originally they were like, oh, let's make a Halloween every year. Who cares? And
Yeah.
then Halloween 5 done so bad that they were like, let's not do one every year because that one was fucking garbage. This further stalled in 1990 when when Akkad realized that the rights had expired to the Halloween franchise, and he entered a bidding war with Carpenter to reclaim control of the franchise. Akkad partnered up with the Weinstein's Miramax Films, and Carpenter had Robert Shea's New Line Cinema behind him. Akkad won the bidding war, and Halloween 6 would release under the genre wing of Miramax, which was called Dimension Films. Now, as you can imagine, this was something I wrote down before I even
Yes,
clicked
with
on you to figure out. I was like, with all
Bob
these
Shea.
new people, yeah, I was like, with all these new people involved, you can imagine it set the stage for some serious arguments over the movie, which resulted in a complete clusterfuck, which is pretty much exactly like when you bring the Weinsteins and stuff in, it's like, yes, chaos.
I gotta make a movie, But weirdly enough, some people don't like this one. I actually like it. This was probably one of the. I probably saw this. I don't know. The first one, I think I saw the original one first, but I thought this is one of the second ones I ever saw, and I had it on VHS. It was one of the only Halloween movies that I actually had on VHS, and I was like a young boy. And I do remember enjoying it, and I remember I remember this one being. It just felt a little darker. It felt a little more new, a little more 90s, but a little darker also, right? And I actually have it. This one has a special place in my heart for this one.
Screenwriter Philip Rosenberg, who penned Halloween 666: The Origin, originally had Myers as homeless at this point. Loomis was a patient now in Smith's Grove. And the only thing that Miramax wanted, which is the Weinsteins, the only thing they wanted for some reason was, when the script was getting developed, was put in a VR element somehow.
Why? What?
I think it was just to try and be modern. There was just put VR in there for some reason. Just please, that's all we care about.
Did
just,
VR exist then?
Just like make VR somehow. Make something that's like virtual reality. That's all we want.
That's so weird.
But it seems like a classic Weinstein thing to do. It's like, what has that got to do with Michael Myers? It's like, it's fine. Just put in virtual reality. It doesn't matter. Who cares? That's what I said to do. And obviously Akkad went fucking berserk. Wow. Apparently they had a meeting, and when they told him like, oh, this guy's writing a script and Michael Myers is going to be homeless now, and Dr. Loomis is a patient in his own hospital, and and there's going to be like VR elements as well within the movie. He was like, no. None of this is happening. You can just fuck that whole script away because we're not doing that. Then they actually tried to get Tarantino to write the script, which is kind of crazy. Vice President Richard Gladstein then asked...
That would have been different.
Quentin Tarantino and his partner Lawrence Bender to executive produce the movie instead. They suggested somebody by the name of Scott Spiegel, who co-wrote Evil Dead 2. Akkad didn't feel the script either and told him to rewrite the 666 script, and he ended up off the movie as well, which further delayed it again. This is like classic now when you've got too many people involved.
Halloween 666 would have been kind of cool though. Written by Quentin Tarantino or some shit would be wild.
Lie. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That does sound pretty cool, to be honest. Obviously, so you watched this one recently, right?
Yeah. I enjoyed watching it again. Like the beginning, I wrote down was like that. I remember making me feel uncomfortable as a kid. Right? It's like the cult aspects. We'll get into it in a little bit. This one holds a special place in my heart. I like it.
Do you know which cut you watched? Was it the theatrical or the producer's cut?
No clue.
Okay, so the ending of your movie was what? Did it have the cult?
Yeah, and the house, I think. Yeah, isn't it? The cult comes in the house.
So, yeah, so you have the cult and they're trying to like sacrifice the fucking kid.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, yeah.
so that's the producer's cut, right?
What the fuck is the other one?
So that would have been the producer's cut is the one that the Acads, for example, and him, that's as close to what they wanted. But then you had a
Mhm.
theatrical cut, which was the Weinstein version, which is the one that came out in like movie theaters and was like the more pushed version, I guess. The producer's cut came afterwards. So originally they cut out all that cult shit. They're like, no, it's garbage. Just get rid of that. No, terrible.
Weird, really?
Yeah, and I mean
I want
two
to watch that one because
completely
I want to see
different,
what the difference is.
two completely different
Can you
endings.
watch
Like,
that other version?
yep, yep, and it's on
I kind of want to
YouTube.
watch it now.
So look, you have the theatrical ending, which had way more gore, a chase scene, and a showdown with Paul Rudd in some basement or warehouse looking place. He tries to trick Michael Myers. He injects him with some sedative thing. Then he attacks him with an iron bar, and all this weird green slime comes out of his eyes.
Yes.
And at the end, we see the mask and the syringe, and you hear Loomis screaming, and then it cuts out, and that's it, done.
Weird.
Yeah,
Fucking Paul Rudd.
I know, right? Paul Rudd, of all people. Paul fucking Rudd, of all people.
Yeah. I remember the beginning it freaked me out, and like the weird sacrificial cult, and then like the baby. And they show the baby's weens, and then they just sacrifice the baby. It's a very dark aspect to this. And then when they're trying to like get the baby away, and then like the nurse gets killed, and then he kills. Who is that supposed to be at the beginning again? It's to be his sister or something like that, or
What?
the chick in the beginning that gets murdered.
That's
And her
fucking
baby.
Jamie.
Oh yeah, weird. It is Jamie. Yeah,
But it's
totally
not
Yeah,
Danielle Harris, because
yeah,
they fucked her over with like money and stuff like that, and like
yeah.
they didn't want it. They wanted to pay her like an hourly rate, and she was like, "But hold on, bitch, I've been on the cover of the last two movies, and now you're going to pay
Yeah.
me an hourly wage, and you want me to be
Weird,
like a
yeah.
big part of the movie." So then because they couldn't get her back, they were like, "Right, we can't really use her character with a different actress. So what we'll do is we'll just vaguely show her older, and then we'll kill her and be like, that's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah,
Fuck
100%.
her."
And I forgot that it was her. I was like, why am I blanking on this? Like, what? Who is that again? But like, even when they kill her, and I remember being scared of that when I was a kid, when she goes on like that combine like tractor thing, and then it like she just like guts her. I always that made me uncomfortable.
Do you
Yeah.
know what else I found really weird about this? I don't know if you picked up on this or not, but the fact that Myers is supposed to be the dad of that child, that baby.
Of what child?
Of the baby in the movie.
So he did. I was right. He did molest Jamie.
That's what I was talking about earlier. I said, "Oh, we'll get there." So he's supposed to be the dad of that child, which would mean, because I wrote this down, and I was like, "This is so bizarre." That so he's the dad to his niece's child, and she would have only been like 16, 15.
Michael Myers is supposed to. Michael Myers is supposed to be the dad.
Yeah, so he's the dad of his niece's kid, and like she would have been only like what, like 16 or something. So inadvertently, and I know they don't say it outright, and I don't even know if they thought about it when they came up with the idea, but it's like you've just made him like some weird like pedophile like rapist character, which is kind of not really for me, I'll be honest.
Yeah. Well, you love Freddy Krueger though.
I know, but he's a cool guy. I don't know. I didn't really like. The more I thought about that, I was like, I don't know how I feel about that. But um, so yeah, you had like I mentioned about like the Weinsteins and like Mustafa Akkad and his son at the time, who was like this was his first. I think this was his first producing role. Like obviously they all banded together to get the rights to Halloween back, and then as soon as they start making this movie, everything started to fracture, and like you started to kind of have two camps where you had like the Weinsteins had their own idea of what they wanted to do, and then like Akkad and his son were like, no, but this is the way Michael Myers is supposed to be, and they're like, no, we'll just do this. We gave you the money, so it's all good. So like you kind of had two teams. Then you had like obviously I mentioned the producers cut, the theatrical cuts, and neither of them fully represented uh, the writers, the screenwriter's original script, which was a guy by the name of Daniel Ferrans, who actually was a Halloween fan, and he gave them a Halloween Bible like years previous to this, and they were so impressed with that he ended up getting the screenwriting role for this movie. And the script he wrote wasn't represented in either the version I saw or the version you saw. He was like, neither of those are my movie.
Did you watch the Weinstein version?
I've seen both of them.
Yeah. But when you watched it recently,
No, actually, I watched the one you watched, and then it was like it dawned on me. I was like, wait a sec, there's a different one. So I went.
So
I didn't watch
weird.
the
I actually
entire
didn't
one.
know
I
that.
watched the
I don't
ending.
know. I think I've only seen.
But they have a. If you watch the Weinstein one, it's like a different movie. If you watch it from start to finish, there's scenes that are not in the other one at all. There's
So
like all this
weird.
extra gore and like extra kills and stuff that are not in. Yeah, it's weird, dude.
Weird. I don't know which one I watched as a kid. Then that is so.
The
weird.
ending is so different, like in the sense of like where it takes place and all.
I'm
You're
gonna
like,
have to look
"Wait,
this up
what?"
actually after we have this conversation to figure out if you want to see it at some point.
But it's funny because we always talk about this stuff, like, but the writer had to pen 10 different versions of his script while they were shooting, and that didn't even include the theatrical rewrites.
Wow.
Like,
It's
and then
typical,
right,
really,
here's a
things.
quote from him, an exact quote. It was like seeing my childhood dream turned into a living nightmare. I had no control. I was forced to sit back and stand there and watch as producers took their hand to the script that I made and cut out everything that was scary and suspenseful, and I had no power.
Wow, that's so sad. Because what would we get if they just did it verbatim for what his script was? Right. It's always disappointing, man, when these
I know,
stupid
yeah.
producers that know nothing about movies want to be like their thing, and it's like, you guys are just putting up the money. You guys don't know what to look for. Like, in a lot of the, there's some probably decent movies that came out of Miramax, fucking Clerks and stuff. But like realistically, they just threw money at stuff, and if you didn't give people creative freedom, it's just these producers don't know how to make movies. They're just, let me throw some money at it,
It is weird though. Like, I seen it was like like lots of notes as well given from like executives and stuff. Like one was studio note from the 18th of September 1994. Maybe Loomis is brought into picture because Cult has chosen him to be the last of the Myers sacrifice, which he later willingly becomes. So they didn't want the child to be the sacrifice. They were like, oh, why don't we make Dr. Loomis the sacrifice? And what happens at the end is Loomis decides he doesn't have to be captured. He says, oh, yes, take me. I want to be taken by Michael and I want to be sacrificed. It's like, there's a classic like studio fucking thing.
I actually liked Paul Rudd in this movie, not gonna lie. It is so funny, just his creepy when he's like talking on the phone or whatever, and it's that whatever that line he does, like, and he's come back, whatever, to like it. Like, I enjoy a lot of the elements of this film. There is some pretty decent gore, and there's some cool kills. I always felt bad for the mom. I feel like she gets murdered. She seems innocent wearing her little mom sneakers. I don't know why the sneakers stuck out to me, but I wrote that down. that there's some elements of this that are pretty decent. You know, I do think this movie doesn't give enough cred. Even the old lady kind of doing her spiel about Sam Hain and Halloween is pretty good. Kind of gets you in the feel of the movie and Halloween, and you know, there's some elements of this that are pretty decent. You know, even like the like podcaster, you could say. He's the radio show guy. But he's such a dick that you kind of like when he gets killed. And there's that scene where the chick's like, but mommy, it's raining. It's raining red. Mommy, it's raining. It's raining red. I thought that was actually pretty creepy that he's all strung up in the lights. Like, there's some decent elements to it.
Again, there's some weird choices again, though, with like...
It's very 90s feel, though.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, you can feel like the switch in like time, because obviously the previous one was, what, 1989? So you can really tell it was like a 6-year advancement.
The filming looks different, like this, the film. And then one mistake I did notice is that his suit, I'm pretty sure, goes from like gray to blue, like brown to gray to... Yeah. So weird.
And that mask, the hair on that changes like 20 times.
Jesus, they're so bad at that.
What is that though? What is that? Would you not think that that's the one thing that needs to be consistent, is to be, okay, well, the dude obviously has to wear the same mask all the time, because how would he have different versions?
Yeah, I know. Like, it's like, shouldn't that be the most consistent thing? It is very weird. Like, I wrote down, there's some interesting stuff about the occult aspects of it. Based on Norse Thurissus, the ruin represents destruction and chaos in Druidic. Reinterpretation is tied to sacrificial cycles and protection through bloodshed. Michael's killing always happens on October 31st, the ancient Celt night, when the veil between the worlds thins, and a time traditionally linked to ritual sacrifice. The cult forces Michael to murder his own family as a part of a pagan ritual meant to protect the rest of humanity, maybe, echoing ancient tribal offering myth. The secret society, the cult of Thorn, a secret society controlling Michael as their vessel, mirroring real-world conspiracy tropes about hidden occults directing violence. Think about the world we live in now. The mark, the ruin tattoo, functions as a magical seal similar to the demonic marks in witchcraft, signifying possession or servitude. And then there's this idea of mortality through ritual. The curse makes Michael unstoppable. It is occult lore that's a byproduct of being bound to a supernatural part or supernatural pact or demonic energy. The franchise turns the modern holiday back into what it originally was, a night of offering, fire, and death to appease unseen forces. And then the Men in Black, the shadowy cult leader, embodies the archetype of the hidden priest or dark initiate, the hand of old gods in the modern world. Interesting, eh?
And I do like some of the kind of culty, occult stuff in it.
I think it's different than some of the other goofy stuff they try to do.
Yeah, and I like, in one way I do really like it, and in another way there's times where I'm looking at it, I'm like, I hate this so much. Like,
I know.
Sometimes when they're like controlling them, I'm a bit like it. I know it's weird. I kind of feel like it cheapens them a little bit. Like when the dude is all like, Michael, stop, or something, and he just goes like a robot, and I'm like, I don't know.
I think it's because because this is a movie that I had on VHS that I did watch quite a bit, and I did watch more than the other ones, that it holds a kind of little special place in my heart, as I've said 3 times, I guess. And I do enjoy it because of that nostalgic aspect, and I do think it's kind of darker and more creepy. There's I saw a Freemason symbol back there.
Yeah.
And I like some of that element. Weird. That's a cut scene. I don't remember him being in a... Was he in a... Oh, did they dress up? Oh, yeah, maybe they do dress up in the cult uniforms. But I think if I watch this now, fresh eyes, never seen it, I would probably have some problems with it. But I think it's a little darker, a little creepier, a little more 90s vibe. There's something about it that I do enjoy.
Oh, don't get me wrong, I love it. Like, I'll be honest, and I kind of like the fact that there's nearly 2 different versions of it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Not just the ending, but like the entire movie, like, kind of feels like a completely different vibe. And I do kind of like that I can watch it like these
Paul
2
Rudd's in
separate.
it. Like it's such a strange thing.
You know, and I do like I'm not saying I really have a soft spot for it, but it's such a fucking weird movie as well. When I
It
think
is.
about it, I'm like, there's a lot of weird choices that happen that I'm like, I don't
Oh
really
yeah,
get
like the
what's going on.
dad, Michael Myers, he's coming, and they put the sign out, and the dad's kind of a dick, and um, kids, my dear Deborah, is what's ruining this country. He says stuff like that, and he's one of those characters that you want to see die. Right? There's a lot of they always usually try to add one or in this movie. I feel like there was 2 or 3 characters where you're like, oh yeah, just this guy needs to die.
Yeah, for sure. I actually something else before we kind of wrap it up and give our reviews of
Yeah.
our ratings of this. There was a plan actually for Tommy. His mother was to be sick in one of the early scripts, I think, and she was like kind of he would visit her and she would like slowly reveal stuff to him about like the cult's connection with Michael and stuff like that, and it led him to become a little bit suspicious. And he was like, you know, how do you know some of this stuff? And she's like, no, it's just like stuff I've heard from like the town and things like that. And he's like, that's weird. And then there's one scene apparently where he goes to visit her in the hospital and she slips up and she says something to him. And like she can tell that he's like, huh, how would you know that? And then she tries to stab him in the hospital room because she's actually turns out she's part of the cult and she's trying to like manipulate him or whatever. But that just got completely scrapped. I don't know what happened to that. That was another scene that
Weird.
just disappeared.
Yeah, it's just sad when you go through these movies. As much as obviously we enjoy them as fans, and we're thankful for the people that join us on this journey. When we get in these deep dives and these long episodes breaking down movies, it is always like because you're like trying to look at it with a skeptical eye, right? It's not just that movie that you watched when you were a kid and kind of go back to every Halloween. When you're doing like a podcast, you kind of have to look at these elements of these movies that are like, they went wrong this way and that way. The guy, like we talked about it, like on every deep dive we've done. I love Nightmare on Elm Street, but man, I think we did chew up a lot of those movies. Like a dog toy, but it's part of the fun and aspect of it is being able to, like I don't know why I did that dog analogy, but it makes sense, right? The dog loves that toy, right? But he tears it apart.
Yep. And that's yeah, and we probably do that an awful lot with some of these
Yeah.
older movies. But I would say I give this one a solid probably an 8 at least.
I
Depending on
would
how I'm
I
feeling.
would too, just because I enjoyed this movie and it was one that I remember and grew up watching and one I saw more often and
And that was the way when I actually think I got that for a Christmas present one year. Someone got it for me, but
well the mask is more like a goblin. That's what they call it, the goblin Michael Myers. It's
and I'm
weird
like,
because it's like more of a different look.
and the reason I wanted to have it though wasn't because I absolutely love the mask or anything like that. It was more the nostalgia of like that's one of those quirky, lesser talked about Halloween movies that no one really likes. But I'm
And it's
like, I
so
have
fun
a
we both
really
kind of like it.
yeah, and like you know what? There's actually a pretty hardcore, like small kind of cult following for that movie, like of diehard fans who love that movie. Like if you look on Reddit and stuff, there's always posts about people going, you know what? I actually really like Halloween 6.
I don't know, like I find the acting was slightly better in this one than other ones. The characters are a little more flushed out to some extent. Like I actually do really like the character of, is Paul Rudd's name Tommy? Is
Yeah,
that his name? Yeah,
Tommy
yeah.
Doyle.
Which is weird. It's like Tommy Jarvis, from Friday
Tommy
13th. And
Doyle. He's
Tommy
related to
Doyle.
me.
Yeah, yeah, and it's that's funny because it's bringing back like the kid that survived, and I think Paul Rudd did do a good job. And this is like one of his first like real more acting roles of when he started to get out there more. So I don't know. It's still funny to see him in this. And at the time, I didn't know who the hell he was when I first watched it. But I think he does a good job playing that character too. I thought that it was decent. Um,
Hmm.
I enjoy it for what it is. I enjoyed this one better than definitely 4 or 5. I will say.
Definitely more than 5 anyway. Yeah, probably more than 4 as well. But
That's just
yeah,
based on
I
opinion, man. Of people
yeah.
with different opinions.
Look, I'll be honest. I've enjoyed like the last 6 movies. I'll be honest. I do probably enjoy 4, 5, and 6 maybe a little bit more than some of the.
Yeah, so do I kind of. It's just a little more
I
fun,
love
guess.
Halloween 3, but like
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not like huge on the original or part two. And maybe it's because I've seen them a zillion times now, and I'm just kind
Yeah.
of a bit like, there's not really much to offer me. Whereas like some of these ones, I can just watch them and be like, haha, nostalgia, because that was in a time period where I grew up.
Yeah. Even
Whereas
I
maybe
know,
I,
even the original one, I always put it on Halloween, but I'm almost like, I mean, I've seen this probably like 57 times or something. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Seeing
And
it
then
live.
sometimes it's harder to relate, I
Mhm.
think, as well, to something that was shot so long ago. I'm like, I can't really like relate in any way to like the teenage characters or anything. Like I can say in Halloween 6.
Yeah, I'm Paul Rudd.
Yeah, where I feel like, yeah, I'm Michael Myers, bro.
Yeah. I'm controlled by a cult of evil billionaires.
That's how I think my life actually is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've had fun with these, dude. These
Yeah,
were
me
good.
too.
I do want to do a third part to this Halloween deep dive at some point. Maybe you guys will see something in the interim. I would like to just finish this out altogether, but who
Yeah,
knows?
and do Resurrection, H2O, and then what?
Yeah,
Then
because I feel like we could just condense them all kind of down because we wouldn't have to go as deep on some of them.
depends. Sometimes it's like, look what we did with these ones. We're like, oh yeah.
I know, right?
It's
I
like,
know,
oh,
right?
yeah.
Because it's like I want to do, I really want to do H2O Resurrection, and I kind of want to gloss over really quick as well, like the Rob Zombie, like the differences, I suppose, in what he
Yeah.
done. And then I would like to do that newer trilogy as well, and then
I will
finish it.
have to watch it.
Yeah, so what I
watch it.
wanted to do was I wanted to do the newer trilogy, and then as a little add-on, I wanted to do a watch along of Halloween Ends.
Yeah, for Rumble especially or something like that.
Mm.
Yeah, because yeah, I didn't finish it, so we'll have to get in that when we talk about it. But
Yeah, yikes. Well,
we'll wrap it up there, folks.
it's been fun. It's been
Yeah.
real. If you've gotten this far, leave us a comment down below so we know you managed to listen to us for nearly 2 hours rambling about fucking movies that no one cares about on the most part.
Yeah,
We do appreciate you if you can
100%.
like, share, rate, review, all that stuff, support in any way you can.
Does mean a lot.
It does. You know, I know a lot of people probably can't help financially, which is fine, but if the least you can do for us is like it, share it, send it to someone you think might like it, leave a suggestion in a comment. Even if you disagree with everything we said, let us know in the comments below or on social media. And yeah, I guess we'll see.
Follow us on all
everybody.
the social media platforms. You know what I mean? Get some merch. We're both wearing some ClassHorrorCast merch. So get your stuff today. And yeah, even your free support of rating it does more than you think. So we appreciate it. And yeah, always stay horny for horror.
And also, actually, because this will release probably on Halloween. Happy Halloween 2025, everybody.
Yes, happy Halloween. And I will get I'll make an image of Chad Michael Myers and send it to
Nice.
Aaron. You can post it on the Instagram page.
Nice. They probably put my face in it or something so it'll look all fucking goofy.
Who knows?
But yeah, happy Halloween, everybody. We appreciate the support so far this year. And
Yes.
yeah, I can't wait for everybody to check out the next one. Peace.